Welcome. This is the second part of ranking the Adventure Time browser games while explaining the lore. I posted the first part last week, so you might want to watch it before this one if you want more context. You don't have to, but be aware that there will be spoilers in this video. I hope you enjoyed this chaotic mess of a video either way. No correlation with anything, but I need to talk about the Lich because he will come up in other people's lore. So the Lich is this evil force of nature, closer to a natural disaster than to a creature, like a machine that is programmed to destroy all life by any means necessary. He was mentioned in a flashback in the Season 1 episode 25, his hero. There we are told that Billy defeated the Lich King. His next appearance is in the Season 2 episode 25, Mortal Folly, where his seals gets released. Finn and Jake go and seemingly defeat him, but then Ice King drops PB in his Wheel of Power. In the Season 2 episode 26, he possesses PB and gets defeated again, but not really. He comes back in Season 4 episode 25, The Lich, where he wears Billy's skin to trick Finn and Jake to steal the jewels needed to open a hole into the multiverse. His plan is to go to Prismo, the Wishmaster, and wish for the extinction of all life. I'm going to stop here because the information will be needed in Prismo's lore later in the video. Royal Ruckus is an RPG shooter with heavy roguelike elements. You play as Marceline or a slumpy space princess going in a dungeon. Marceline the Vampire Queen is a human vampire demon, stepdaughter of Ice King, daughter of Hansan Abadir, ex/current girlfriend of Bubblegum, and the best girl. She first appeared in Season 1 episode 12, Evicted, where she throws Finn and Jake from the treehouse because it was hers. Then she throws them out of a cave that was hers too, and lets them stay in the treehouse. She has a lot of appearances with a lot of backstory that I'm not going to be able to fit in a few words. I will talk about her past with Ice King when I talk about him though. Remember when I said there are 4 elements? I lied. LSP is the 5th Lump's anti-elemental, a hobo and a drama queen. She first appeared in Season 1 episode 2, where she beat Jake, slowly transforming him into a lumpy space person. I'm not going to elaborate on her story. I wanted to talk a bit about the Season 6 episode 6 Breezy.
Where are you going?
That's it. We made up.
What? I didn't wait infinity for a dip in the kiddie pool. We're taking this to the deep end.
But I'm not a good swimmer.
Don't be scared, Finn. Lumpy's on lifeguard duty.
But this isn't why I am here. So in the game you play as either, shooting enemies as they spawn from every direction. It's very inspired, let's say that, by the Binding of Isaac. The problem is that there are too many enemies spawning in each room, and the fact that the controls feels very odd. Overall meh D. Neptr out of control has you playing as Finn as he needs to cut the pies thrown by the pie-throwing robot Neptr that has gone out of control. Neptr is the son of Finn and Ice King, kinda. First appearing in Season 1 episode 15, Neptr was built by Finn to be a pie-throwing robot which didn't work. But it suddenly gained sentience after it got struck by lightning, kinda. It gained sentience but it wouldn't work as it should. Stuff happens and Neptr gets struck by Ice King's lightning, gaining full control of its body. Now the game is practically Fruit Ninja. You use your mouse to slice pies, you get more points if it's in half, and you can't slice burning rocks. Meh, D. Fangs for the Memories is a memory puzzle game. You need to match the cards with the same images in as little moves as you can. There are 3 stages. It is what it is. See. Candy Dive is a game where you play as Finn and Jake as they fall from Lady Rainicorn's back. Lady is Jake's girlfriend and later wife of his kids that speaks mostly in Korean.
Oh, lady!
자기야, 나 완전 중요한 할 말 있어. I am pregnant!
She is part of the Rainicorn race and is Princess Bubblegum's royal steed, best friend and companion. She was introduced in the Slumber Party Panic episode. In the game, you need to collect as many candies as you can while saving 5 candy people. You can free fall and glide as your main controls. But there are 2 items you can pick. One of them is a boost from Lady Backup, and one is a Witch's Cane that makes you fall faster, and you can't pick anything in that time. The Witch is from Season 1 episode 14, The Witch's Garden, where she stole or disabled Jake's powers. For the controls, I don't like them, me personally. If you press left or right, you continuously go in that direction, so you can't fall straight down. Which doesn't sound like a big deal, but I just don't like it. F. In Romance on Ice, you play as Ice King as he tries to impress Breakfast Princess with his sporting abilities. I mentioned Ice King, but I didn't really explain who he is. He is someone from the time before the Mushroom War. His original name is Simon. In his search for the Enchiridion, he finds a lot of magical artifacts, one of them being this magical crown. At one point he puts the crown on his head, which in turn gives him magical ice powers. Little did he know that the crown is cursed, and as he uses it more because of necessity, he starts to transform into the Ice King. We find this in the two-parter Holy Jolly Secrets, where Finn and Jake watches some tapes that Ice King hid. Later, in one of the best episodes in the series, the season 4 episode 25, I Remember You, we are shown in a flashback how Marceline and Simon met. It was shortly after the Mushroom War. The world turned to shit. Marceline, when being just a child, is found by Simon and he practically adopts her as his daughter. We later find out more about their backstory when Marceline tells Finn and Jake about their past in the season 5 episode 14, Simon and Mercy. In this episode we see how the crown is changing Simon, and his need to use it despite how it's slowly deteriorating his mind. Later he leaves Marceline as to not harm her in his crown-induced manic episodes. And over the course of those 1000 years until the present day, he is still finding his way to Marceline even if he doesn't know why or even forgets that he is constantly meeting her as Ice King. I skipped a lot of important stuff, but we need to move on, so back to the game. Because he reads in some magazine that ladies like athletic men, he kidnaps a princess and shows his moves trying to impress her. So he snowboards on Gunther, his penguin, while creating the road in front of him. You control the road with your mouse as you try to dodge the other penguins and objects. The game is fun to play with some upgrades that you can make if you want an easier experience. Very good. A. Gate Crashers is a game where you need to stop the Wolves from getting into the Candy Kingdom while letting the regular Candy citizens in. The Wolves first appeared in the Season 1 Episode 21 Donny, where they prey on the house people. They are a subspecies of wolfmen, and they aren't that important. The game is simple. You need to close the gate when a wolf is about to enter. In most of those cases, there will be 1 or 2 Candy citizens with them, and you can refuse entry to at most 30 citizens before the game ends. If a wolf gets in, you get deduced 10 lives. It's mostly about luck, because even with the best timing, in most cases you will refuse at least 1 candy person per wolf. Meh. F. In Blind Fiend, you need to protect a blindfolded Finn through 3 different kind of obstacles. You control Jake, and to pass those 3 kind of obstacles, you need to cover Finn from above attacks, help him go over holes, and transform into a sword to destroy bushes. The controls seem kinda confusing at first because I didn't read the tutorial, but you need to move the mouse in the corresponding direction while on the obstacle. You continue doing that, getting more points until you fail. The game is fun, but very simple with the mechanics. D. Marceline's Ice Blast is a runner type game where you play as Marceline and you need to protect Finn and Jake from the penguins while dodging Ice King's attacks. The game is fine. You need to hold the left mouse button to ascend and to attack the penguins with music. Like a lot of other browser games, you need to collect gems to get a higher score, and you repeat that until you get bored. There are no additional upgrades you can get, or cosmetics for that matter. It's a simple runner. See. In Mushroom Hunting, you play as Princess Bubblegum, who is trying to collect some mushrooms that are needed for some experiment. Princess Bubblegum is Finn's first love interest, Marceline's ex and current girlfriend, and the ruler of the Candy Kingdom. She, along with her brother Neddy, were born from the Mother Gum, who we see in the Simon and Mercy episode that I talked about. Bibi is more than 800 years old, and she is the one that created the Candy People and built the Candy Kingdom. The first time we find out about this is in the Season 5 episode 34, The Vault, where we follow a flashback of one of Finn's past life. In the Season 10 episode 4, Bunnybell Bubblegum, we find out about more of her relatives. While she was a child, alone in the barren post-apocalyptic Ooo, she wanted a family. So she creates an aunt, an uncle, and a cousin, in this order. Things were fine until the family she created started plotting to give her a potion which will make her dumb. The uncle poisons the aunt and cousin, then gets poisoned when PB shots the bottle containing the potion. Since that traumatic experience, she decided to make her citizens more simple-minded. Either way, this is a platformer where you need to collect mushrooms until the bar is filled. If you get hit, the bar depletes. The enemies are these skeleton-looking guys that you need to hit with your potions. The potions are limited though. You need to collect mushrooms to get more. The game is fine. B. Sweet Ooodyssey is a game where you fly as Lady Rainicorn as she goes through floating rings. You get points for each ring you get, and you obviously are trying to get all of them. The game is fine, but one problem is with the controls. You press either left or right arrow key to move up and down, but as you can see on the screen, the change is very abrupt. It's really hard to get all of the rings when you are fighting with the game for control. The game looks fine, but the controls are a miss, like those missing rings you need to collect. Hehe, D. In Return of the Rattleballs, you start with Rattleballs explaining to Finn how he got all that computer junk, and the gameplay is you getting that computer junk. First introduced in Season 5 Episode 46, Rattleballs is a sentient gumball machine that was created by Princess Bubblegum. There was an entire battalion of them that were created to protect the Candy Kingdom in its early years, but they were destroyed by PB after she found out they are prone to violence. Rattleballs escaped in the last moment by defying the princess's order, hiding in the junkyard, later becoming Finn's teacher, and being reassigned to protect the kingdom from the shadows. This game is a fighting platformer and it's okay. C. Adventure Time Elemental is a combination of 4 minigames corresponding to each element. There was an 8-episode miniseries covering the elementals in the Season 9 Episode 2 to Episode 9, but the concept of the 4 elements were introduced earlier in Season 8 Episode 8. In that episode, Ice King discovers Peyton Sadepit, who is the ice elemental and the person that shows PB and Slime Princess how to use their powers. In the miniseries, we follow Finn and Jake on their return to Ooo, just to find out that the land was split in the 4 elements. Like quite literally, the landscape and people transform to the element they are under. After PB encroaching to transform all the land of Ooo and Candy, LSP, who is the anti-elemental, as I mentioned, stops her and reverts the land and people back to how they were before. If you are wondering where PM is, she froze herself again after PB started transforming everything into candy. Either way, let's look at the game. The first game is Candy Smash, a whack-a-mole type of game where you need to save the candy people from zombies. The second game is Ice to Meet You, a running puzzle game where you need to avoid getting caught by the snowstorm. The third is Slime Time, a platformer runner where you avoid getting caught by a slime creature. The last one is Flame War, a rhythm type game where you fight the Flame King who gets damaged if you get enough points. The minigames individually aren't that impressive, but there are 4 of them, so C. Adventure Time color game is just as the name implies, you color inside the game. D. Adventure Time animation game is not as cool as it could have been. You make both Finn and Jake dance with a few pre-made animations, mixing them together and having them moving like they have a stroke. I was thinking you move each limb/connection point and actually making animations, as limited as it would have been. But for what it is, F. In Rumble in the Nightosphere, you play as Peppermint Butler, who is fighting a demon that possessed Cinnamon Bun. Debuting in the first episode, he is a wizard and dark magic practitioner. We find this later, who is the loyal butler of PB. His dark magic is kept secret in the public eye, but he has ties with a lot of important figures in that field. People like the Literal Death.
What? You know Peppermint Butler?
Yeah.
Yo,
Shown in Season 2, Episode 17, Dead in Bloom, and Hansen Abadir, shown in Season 4, Episode 5, Return to the Nightosphere. The demon is most likely Ogdad, the same one he summoned in Season 5, Episode 21. Either way, the gameplay is kinda unique. You control Peppermint, who has 2 souls that enables him to float, using the floating mechanic to drop on the heads of the skeletons summoned by the demon. There are some variation in the enemy types that helps make the game feels engaging. You can be hit 2 times before losing a life, so it's more forgiving than other ones. Very good. A. Billy the Giant Hunter is a game I don't know what category fits into. It's a roguelike puzzle flying slashing type of game. You play as the legendary hero Billy in his younger years as he slays enemies. Billy was a legendary hero in the Adventure Time world. His stories of bravery and reputation as a great warrior is known throughout the entire land of Ooo. He is Finn and Jake's idol, and they met in Season 1 Episode 25, his hero. By the time they meet Billy, he is old and has a changed view on life and heroism. He doesn't believe that violence is the key in stopping evil, but his mind changes again by the end of the episode. In his next appearance, he is dead, with the Lich controlling his body, which can I say that it's very brutal for a kids show. As you can see in the game, the giants that he is hunting are those spheres that he moves around on, slashing downwards upon clicking left mouse. You have a limited amount of moves per giant, and you need to eliminate the other enemies before finishing said moves. If you fail to do so, you lose a proportional amount of hearts, of which you have 5. As you complete stages, you get more points that you can spend for upgrades on that specific level. As you can see, there are a lot of levels for this one. Overall, a very good game. S. In Fables of Ooo, BMO Dreamo, you play as BMO. You need to control the gravity with the goal of dodging the cloud blocks and other obstacles. Think of those geometry dash levels, but more chill. There was one old game that had this mechanic, but I don't really remember the name. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. There is no end to this game, from what I can see. You just stay alive as much as you can. Overall, the game is fun. It looks good with that pixelated aesthetic. A. Fionna Fights is a fast-paced game where you play as Fionna as she kills flying monsters. This game is most likely based on the Season 5 Episode 11 Bad Little Boy because of Marceline. He is the gender-bent Marceline. How can I say this? You click your mouse, she dashes for that spot. You kill the enemies in your path. If you let them pass or you miss them when you dash, it will be counted as a miss and you will lose stamina. Lose all of it and the game ends. After you lose, you get to the shop menu, where you can buy upgrades. Most of them are in-game boosts, like the first sword you can buy. It will appear as you play the game, giving you a power boost for a few seconds. I can assume the same is for the other upgrades too. The game is fine, and the power-ups you can buy gives it a lot of gameplay variety, like the previously mentioned Romance on Ice. I gave that one an A, but I feel like this is better, so S. In a one-sweet role, you help Cinnamon Bun in his task to save Finn and Jake. Cinnamon Bun in the early series had the role of a lovable idiot, but as the series progressed, he gets more refined. In Season 5, Episode 32, Earth and Water, he lets Flame Princess out of Phoebe's testing facilities after he was told to watch her. This was after Finn messed up his relationship with Flame Princess because of a wet dream, with them breaking up. After Flame Princess agrees to Princess Bubblegum's idea of testing her so she can understand her emotions. After Cinnamon Bun releases her, he takes her to his house and gives her advice with his honesty. She decides that this is what she wants. She takes him as her subject, and they overthrow the Flame King, with one of the new rules she put in place being that everybody needs to be honest and truthful, and Cinnamon Bun decides to stay in the Fire Kingdom. In this game, he will roll constantly to the right. Your role is to destroy the ice and snow blocks in a way for him to safely get to this portal thing. The game progressively gets harder as you complete the stages, introducing unbreakable blocks and jumping and more. It's a puzzle game, so what can you expect? B. Avalaunch wasn't what I was expecting. But before that, I need to explain the Gamble Guardians that launch you down. They are the primary protectors of the Candy Kingdom. They too were created by PB as we see in the vault. I was expecting a learn to fly type of game, where you get money for upgrades until you finish the stage. But it's a game where you get launched from a mountain in a ball and you try to make your way down. You start with Jake, but you unlock more characters as you go down. As you get more, they get added to your ball, with each of them having a special ability. But you need to separate them if you want to use the abilities. The game is fine at the beginning, but as you get more characters, it's harder to keep track of them. It doesn't help that when you separate them, the one gets launched forward with the others remaining, and you can actually lose those that remained. The game is fine, but it's not for me. C. In Frosty Fight, you play as Finn as he tries to free the kidnapped princesses. You need to collect all of these candy-looking things without Ice King catching you. After you collect all of them, you can fire your lightning sword to free the princess. Can I say that you can really tell when a game was made just by looking at the characters in the game and how they act? Because Ice King just straight up kidnapping princess was mainly in the first few seasons. Because after that we get more backstory about the character and he becomes less of a villain and more of a weird friend, like I said before. But what I didn't mention is the existence of Betty Groove, his lover, his princess, that for all that Simon knew abandoned him. And even 1,000 years later, when he doesn't even know the man he once was or what he lost, he is still searching for a princess to fill that void. Granted, his approach is not good. Either way, the game is meh. D. These slums is like that game. How was it called? That IO game. Oh yeah, Agar.io, where you start as a small circle, but as you hit other circles that are smaller than you grow. This is the same concept, but without the eating. You play as a lumpy space prince who, while partying, bumps into other people throwing them out of the screen. You know this is the gender bent version because he has a mustache. The circle below him gets bigger in the process, allowing him to bump into bigger targets. You need to eliminate all of the people before the timer runs out. The game is okay. See? In the Angry Betty game, you need to shoot the Angry Betty head that is in the Ice King's crown. Betty was Simon's lover that came to the present day through a time portal that Simon opened in Season 5 episode 48, Betty. He did that after gaining back his senses after the summoned Avalaunch ate the magic from the crown. This came with a very big disadvantage though. He will literally die very soon because the crown's magic is the thing that kept him alive. In his dying moment, he wished to ask Betty why she left him all those years back. Her response is to jump through that portal. Avalaunch is defeated, and before Simon dies, he transforms back into Ice King. Betty searched all of Ooo for a way to remove the crown's power without killing Simon. In Season 6 episode 38, you forgot your floaties. She gets Magic Man's power. In Season 7 episode 21, King's Ransom, she puts a virus into the crown. And in Season 8 episode 1, broke his crown. The results of that virus become apparent. Betty the virus messes with the crown, prompting PB and Marceline to go inside the crown to see what's wrong. There they find the virus and eliminate it. In the game, you need to stop the crazy Betty from destroying the crown while avoiding shooting the real Betty. Cool game. B. BMO Play Along With Me is a collection of minigames that you unlock after doing different things. For the first one, for example, you need to play a bit with BMO and you unlock Jake Snake. But for real this time, it's just Snake. The rest you need to discover by giving items to the characters in the house or discovering little Easter eggs. I didn't have time to unlock all of them, so maybe you should try it yourself. Overall the game is fun, with quite a lot of minigames for what they are worth. S. Break the Worm is a good one, but that could be mainly because of nostalgia. I played it a few times when I was little, and I remember liking it. It's a proper side-scrolling beat-em-up, where you are fighting the worms from the Season 4 episode 18, King Worm. You play as Finn and Jake as they found themselves together in a dream world, like in the episode. You need to defeat King Worm and his underlings to get out of the dream. You have a series of attacks and combos you can do, with 3 special moves that have 2 phases each. I think at least the first one had a full energy bar move and a half energy, less powerful version. It's an A from me. How to draw? Jake. Just as the name implies. Didn't play it. D. Word search. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Didn't play it. D. Flambo's Inferno is the sequel to Flambo's Hot Mess. You need to collect coal instead of jelly beans, and you have a build mode to make your own levels. But the gameplay itself is the same. Platforming while collecting the stuff, while being careful not to burn your path. Overall the same. C. Fin and Bones is an auto-playing RPG. Is that the correct term? You start the game with Jake drinking some water of forgetfulness from a skeleton sorcerer and then being taken by said skeleton. In your quest to save Jake, you play as Finn who is helped by Princess Bubblegum. The gameplay is Finn fighting the enemies in a turn-based way, with Finn always going first. If you win the level, you get 3 random items from the ones available on that stage. If you lose, you don't get anything. The drops consist of gear, accessories, potions and other crafting materials. They are used to enhance the main stats, them being attack, HP, defense, luck. The way to enhance gear is through crafting. Each item has a cap on how much they can be upgraded. The main way to play the game is advancing as much as you can, and when you get stuck, go back to the stages that have the reward you need. That was a lot of words to say this is an RPG. Either way, the game is fun. I finished it in 90 minutes, but there were quite a lot of the items I didn't get. I will need maybe 15 to 30 minutes more, depending on my luck, if I want to unlock everything. And that 90 minutes can be cut a bit with a little strategy. After you beat the sorcerer and get Jake back, he still doesn't remember anything, so Death needs to kiss him to give him his memories back. The end. S. In Bakery and Bravery, you play as Finn who is helping Tree Trunks with collecting the ingredients needed for her pies. Introduced in the first episode, Tree Trunks is a small elephant. In her second appearance in Season 1, Episode 4, she literally dies, but not exactly. She explodes after eating the crystal apple, and gets transported in the crystal dimension. We find that out in Season 2, Episode 8, Crystals Have Powers. So for an entire season, she was dead for the characters in Adventure Time. And by the time she appears again, she is crazy because of her crystal powers. She gets brought back after Jake kicks her in the stomach, expelling the crystal apple she ate previously. In the game, you fight enemies in the forest in a side-scrolling manner. You can go only one space at a time, and you need to stop to attack. This combined with falling platforms makes you really want to count your hits, because the timing is very narrow. Normally after getting 50 items you go back, but this being made in 2020, you can watch an ad to just send the items back. The game itself is fun, so I'm going to let it slide. S. Find the Pickle is a game where you play as both Finn and Jake at the same time. They are kinda in mirror dimensions, with each of them taking half the screen, moving with each of them. You need to collect all of Prismo's Pickles, who are the best in the multiverse, before going to the pickle jar in the middle. See, I told you I'm going to talk about Prismo. He's a cosmic entity manifested from an old man's dream going by the nickname the Wishmaster, that first appeared in Season 5 Episode 1, Finn the Human, and he grants wishes to anybody that comes to his room. In said episode, he grants the Lich his wish for the extinction of all life, so Finn wishes for the Lich to not exist. In Season 5 Episode 2, Jake the Dog, in the hopes of helping Jake understand how his powers work, he explains that his wishes act more like a monkey's paw. So by the end, Jake wishes for the Lich's wish to be for Finn and Jake to be transported back to Ooo.
That's not what I wish for.
Sorry, guy. You only get one wish. Hey, Jake. Did you see that? Monkey's paw.
The Lich remains motionless in Prismo's room, and Jake gets a jar of pickles. In Season 6 Episode 1, Wake Up, Prismo dies after being killed by the Lich that remained. How? It's because he revealed the location of the sleeping old man, so Finn and Jake can kill him and get taken to the prison that Finn's dad is in. They took the old man without knowing why, and the Lich took the chance to wake up the old man, then killing him. In the Season 6 Episode 19, Is That You?, Jake finishes the last of Prismo's pickles when there is an explosion. Both Finn and Jake find themselves in some kind of time loops, but at different locations. Jake is in the wish room, and while following a Prismo, he finds the bed the old man slept in. Then he proceeds to sleep in it because it was that good of a bed. Prismo 1 gets pseudo-resurrected by Jake 1. Finn 1 finds himself in that wish room loop. Prismo 2 finds him, who explains his plan. Finn 1 proceeds to follow the plan and wake up Jake 1, killing that pseudo-Prismo 1 and taking back his original Jake. Then another Jake 2 comes up and sleeps in that bed, creating a Prismo 3. That makes 2 Prismo 2 and 3 to be alive now. Then another Finn 2 comes, with Prismo 4 a little bit later to wake up Jake 2. But Finn 1 stops Finn 2 from waking up Jake 2. and Finn 2 transforms into the Finn sword, thus closing the paradox. So Jake 2 transforms into the old man and is sleeping for eternity for Prisma 4 to be alive. Technically speaking, only Prisma 1 that got killed and Prisma 4 that will remain going forward are the only ones that were alive in that time. The Prisma 2 and 3 were more like past recordings that knew the future, so they looked like they were having conversations and stuff. I know this is confusing with the way I explained it, but it's really hard for me to explain this type of time traveling stuff. And I think the show does an okay job of doing it with the dialogue, which I can't include.
Finn, hold up.
First of all, I saw you die, dude.
Yeah, I'm still dead. I'm actually talking to you from the past. I set up this plan B scenario in case I ever got croaked for reals. So if this is happening, I guess I got croaked and my pickles ran out. But Jake and I established a profile that could bring me back through his dreams.
So, are you actually talking to me right now, or are you pretending to in an empty room?
I was pretending, but now I can't see you.
What does now mean to you?
Hurry up, I need your help. Well, Finn, hey, are you gonna wake up Jake?
Yeah, is that gonna kill you again, though?
My past self is doing plan B, right?
Yes. Although I gotta say, this whole thing seems ridiculous, yoga balls.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You tell you about it.
I think you would blow up if I did that. Finn sword, dude.
Welcome back, Prismo.
Thank you, Finn.
Welcome back, Prismo.
Thank you, Jake.
Anyway, he makes the best pickles. The game is fun. Yes. In Wizard Battle, you play as one of a few playable characters, but you start with Finn. The game is referencing the Season 3 Episode 8 Wizard Battle, where Finn and Jake join a wizard-only free-for-all. The reason for doing so is because the reward is a kiss from Princess Bubblegum and Ice King is participating in it. So to avoid Ice King winning, they join well disguised and win the battle. In the game, you need to enter magic tournaments, get money, upgrade your character, enter more battles, earn more money, buy a new character, enter battles, earn money, upgrade. You get the idea. There are a few tournament modes, but I only played the first one 2 times. This was an extra game that I saw while playing Find the Pickle, so I was pressed on time. The game is fun though. I will probably play it on a later date when I find the time. Yes. Man, this took longer than I anticipated. I was planning to make a short video where I would play and review some browser games and make a joke here and there. But then I thought that it would be fun to add some random crazy facts about Adventure Time that wouldn't make much sense for someone that didn't watch the show. And after that I just said, screw it, why not just explain the lore for the important locations and characters. I know there is a lot of stuff I left out, but we are 40 minutes into the video. If you want me to talk about the topic in more details, you can tell me in the comments. And I know there are more official browser games than what I played here, but these are the ones that were on the site at the time of me filming the gameplay. The site that doesn't even work now, mind you. Either way, I hope you had a fun time hearing me ramble about one of the greatest cartoons of all time.